Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wisdom and Wit, where we take a look at the world through a lens that's about as clear as mud after a monster truck rally. I'm Jimmy, and I'll be your guide through this comedic minefield. Now, let's get this show rolling like a greased-up pig at a county fair. So, y'all hear about this fella in New York? 60 years old, probably old enough to remember when dinosaurs roamed the earth, decides he's going to play whack-a-mole with some poor bastard's face. And why? Because the guy was wearing a Trump hat. Now, I ain't one to judge, but last time I checked, we don't live in a country where fashion choices are punishable by dental rearrangement. I mean, come on. What's next? We're going to start throwing hands over socks with sandals? Actually, that one I might understand. But a hat? That's like getting your panties in a twist over someone's choice of belt buckle. Oh no, he's wearing a John Deere buckle. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jimmy, ain't you worried about offending someone? Hell no. I'm more worried about offending everyone equally. That's the American way, folks. Equal opportunity offending. But seriously, this whole situation's got me thinking. You know how they say clothes make the man? Well, apparently now they also make the man unconscious. It's like we're living in some bizarre world where your t-shirt is more dangerous than a rattlesnake in a Lucky Charms box. And let me tell ya, it ain't just happening in supermarkets. No sir, this madness is spreading faster than gossip at a church potluck. You got NFL players flashing MAGA hats like they're Super Bowl rings and folks losing their minds over it. I mean, can you imagine if we applied this logic to other sports? Breaking news? Basketball player wears I love broccoli hat. And don't even get me started on what's happening at stadiums. You got people being told to take off their hats like they're entering some kind of reverse strip club. Sir, I'm going to need you to remove that hat. This is a family-friendly environment, and we can't have people expressing opinions willy-nilly. It's like we're playing some twisted game of hat or not. You walk into a place, and suddenly everyone's eyeballing your head like it's the last piece of fried chicken at a family reunion. Oh Lord Ethel, he's wearing one of them hats. Quick, get the pitchforks and the torches. Now, I ain't saying we should all start wearing hats with slogans that make a sailor blush. But come on, folks. It's gotten to the point where I'm afraid to wear my favorite hat. It just says I love hats on it. But knowing my luck, I'd probably get tackled by some anti-hat extremist group. How dare you promote head coverings, you monster. But you know what? Maybe we're looking at this all wrong. Maybe this is just nature's way of telling us we need more hats. I mean, think about it. If everyone's wearing a hat, ain't nobody gonna know who to punch. It's like camouflaging your political views right on top of your head. Genius! And that's when things got weird. Yeah, I went there, and I'm going even further. 'Cause let me tell ya, this whole situation is nuttier than a squirrel's winter stash. But you know what? That's enough from me for now. I think it's time we bring out someone who knows a thing or two about hats, opinions, and stirring up a hornet's nest. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the man, the myth, the legend, Donald.
Well, thank you kindly, Benji. I haven't been this excited since I found out my cousin wasn't my cousin after all. Now that's what I call a family tree with benefits. Speaking of unexpected events, y'all hear about that assassination attempt on Trump? Talk about a plot twist. There he was in Butler, Pennsylvania, dodging bullets like he dodges tax audits. But our man Trump, he's tougher than a $2 steak at a truck stop diner. He got shot, started bleeding, and what does he do? Pumps his fist to the crowd like he just won a round of golf at Mar-a-Lago. Now, I'm not saying Trump's invincible, but I'm pretty sure if you cut him, he'd bleed red, white, and blue. And maybe a little bit of spray tan. But let me tell you, that incident changed the game faster than a Hollywood starlet changes husbands. You know who else changed the game? Good old Joe Biden. He dropped out of the race quicker than a hot potato in a game of catch with your senile grandpa. 1 minute he's insisting he's not going anywhere, the next he's gone like my last brain cell after a night of moonshine and Fox News marathons. But here's the kicker, folks. He waited so long to drop out, poor Kamala Harris didn't have time to win a primary. It's like showing up to a BBQ after all the ribs are gone. All you're left with is coleslaw and regret. Speaking of Kamala, bless her heart, she finally decided to do some interviews. And let me tell you, it was about as smooth as a cactus in a sandstorm. She sat down with Lester Holt, brought her running mate Tim Walz along, probably for moral support, or maybe just to have someone to hide behind when the questions got tough. When asked about her flip-flopping, she said, "My values have not changed. Well, honey, neither has my underwear. But that doesn't mean it's a good thing." And don't even get me started on her interview with Brett Baer. It was so bad, I think even the crickets were cringing. But you know what really got people talking? That whole pet controversy in Springfield, Ohio. Trump makes one little comment about pets, and suddenly everyone's yapping like a chihuahua on espresso. But then the story took a turn faster than a NASCAR driver with a death wish. Suddenly, we're all talking about mismanaged migrant programs. It's like going to the doctor for a hangnail and finding out you've got a third nipple. And then, oh Lord, the Teamsters went and broke Harris's heart like it was a cheap piñata at a kid's birthday party. They refused to endorse her faster than a vegan refuses bacon. It was the first major chink in her armor, and let me tell you, that armor started looking about as sturdy as a chocolate teapot in July. You know, folks, this election's been wilder than a buck during mating season. We've had assassination attempts, dropouts, interview disasters, and more flip-flops than a beach in Florida. It's been a regular three-ring circus minus the trained elephants. Although, come to think of it, we've had plenty of those in the Republican Party. But here's the thing, my fellow freedom-loving patriots. No matter who wins this rodeo, we're in for one hell of a ride. It's going to be bumpier than a back road after a moonshine run. So buckle up, buttercups, and remember, in politics like in life, sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug, and sometimes you're just the guy selling I Survived the 2024 election t-shirts on the side of the road. And on that note, I'm going to skedaddle before y'all realize I've been talking longer than a filibuster in a room full of free coffee. Remember, vote early, vote often, and if all else fails, just write in giant meteor 2924 and hope for the best. Good night, and God bless America. We're going to need it.